Hi, welcome to my video on rational numbers, practice 1. Again, a review of the topic of rational numbers. Number 1, a rational number has the form of a over b, where a belongs to the integers and b belongs to the natural numbers. So the numerator can be integers of -1, -2, or 0, or 1, or 3, or 4. And the denominator b has to be natural numbers. And why that is, the natural numbers do not have a 0. And the denominator of a fraction can never be 0. So that's why we have the natural numbers. The natural numbers are the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Whereas integers and in the numerator can be any natural number, 0, and their negatives. Number 2, simplify each as a rational number. So a rational number is a over b. So simplify negative over negative is a positive. So that's a 6 over 7. When you divide two negatives, you get a positive. And this is 2 divided by 1/3. So that's the same as 2 times 3 over 1, and that's 6 over 1, which is 6. And as a rational number, we could call it 6. So if you want to get technical, 6 is the rational number because it's 6 over 1. C, 10% divided by 4. So 10% is decimal 1, so or decimal 10. Decimals here, we move the decimal 2 places to the left. So it's decimal 10 over 4. Or we can say it's decimal 1 over 4. So because we have a 1 decimal place, we multiply it by 10. Decimal 1 times 10 is 1, and 10 times 4 is 40. So a rational number for 10% divided by 4 is 1 over 40. Write equivalent rational number 2. So we're going to express each of these as a rational number. So a rational number for a -1/2 with a denominator of 10. So -1 over 2. And we want a denominator of 10. So that means we multiply by 5 and 5. 5 in the denominator. 5 times 2 times 5 is 10. -1 times 5 is -5. So that's an equivalent rational number. And we have a -6 over 7. And we want a numerator of a -18. So we want a -18, we multiply by 3. Because -6 times 3 is -18. So we multiply the denominator by 3. So that gives us 21. So these are equivalent fractions. Again, you can take -6 and divide it -18 to get a 3. So it's 3 on top and 3 on bottom, multiply. Number 4, which one below is not equivalent to -3/4? So a negative over negative is a positive, so that's a -3/4 because the two negatives cancels out. And we have -15 over 20. 5 into 15 goes 3. 5 into 20 goes 4. So that's -3/4. And we have a -1/2 divided by -2/3. So that's a -1/2 times its reciprocal. And the reciprocal of a -2 over 3 is a -3 over 2. And negative times a negative is a positive. And 1 times 3 is 3. So that's 3/4, but that's a positive. And again, if you know, even if I didn't have to work this out. Why? Because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So this is the one that's not equivalent because it's a positive 3/4. Number 5, place greater than and less than in blank. So these are very, very close to each other. So let's get a common denominator. So a common denominator here, 8 and 7. 7 is the prime number, so the common denominator, the LCD, is 7/8 or 50. 7 times 8 is 56. So that means you multiply this denominator by 7, numerator by 7. And right here you multiply 7 by 8 and negative 5 by 8. So that gives us a negative 35 over 56, which is negative 40 over 56. And if you do a number line, both of them are over 56, but a negative 40 is here, and a negative, this is a 0, and let's say this is a negative 1 right here. So a negative 40 is further to the left. So this is a negative 40 over 56, and this is a negative 35 over 56, because negative 40 is further to the left. So that means that 35 over negative 35 over 56 and negative 40 over 56, that means 35, this is on the left, so this is less than. This is on the right, so that's any number on the right of another is greater than. So negative 35 over 56 is greater than negative 40 over 56, because negative 35, think about it, both of them got the same denominators, so this one is on the right, so that's greater. Write each in ascending order. So we have to get a common denominator. So 15 is 5 times 3. 10 is 5 times 2. And 6 is 2 times 3. So the LCD is I got to have a 2, got to have a 3, and I got to have a 5. And there's only one 5, power of 5. Power of 3 is 1, power of 2 is 1. So that's 10 times 3, so the LCD is 30. So you multiply this one by 2 to get to 30. So that's 30 and 28. You multiply the 10 by 3 to get 30. So you multiply 9 by 3. So that's 30 and 27. And you multiply here to get 30. You need a 5. So you put 5 on numerator. So that's a 30 and a 25. So they're all equivalent. These are all with denominators of 30. Remember, the denominator is the same as the least common multiple. So least common multiple for 15, 10, and 6 is 30, which is the same. It's the same number, but this is the denominator. Remember, denominators and multiples are same numbers, but multiples are, like multiples of 10 are 10, 20, 30, and multiply by 1, 2, 3, so on. It says in ascending order. Ascending means to go up. So we have over 30, 30, so I'll write the 30 down. To ascend means to go up. So we have a 25, 27, 28. So the ascending is 5 over 6. 27 over 30 is 9 over 10. And 28 over 30 is 14 over 15. So that's the ascending. So if we took a calculator and changed those to a decimal, would be another way to do it. You find that this is smaller, this is next, and this is next is the largest. Number 7, express negative 3 and 2/5 as a rational number. Well, 3 and 2/5 is the same as 3 times 5 plus 2 over 5. So 15 plus 2 is 17 over 5. So that's a 17 over 5, but it's negative. So just ignore the this is a negative number, but you do not do this. Do not go negative 3 times 5 plus 2, because that'll give you negative 15 plus 2. That'll give you negative 13. That's the wrong way to do it. You multiply 3 by 5 to get 15, plus 2 is 17, and make the fraction negative. This is a negative number, but you do not do negative 3 times 5 plus 2. You do 3 times 5 and then add on 2. So again, you look at the 3 and 2/5 as a fraction and then make a negative. Number 8, simplify each. So we have negatives here, so we can go with adding up these. So we have common denominator is, we have a 9, which is 3 times 3, which is 3 squared. We have 6, which is 2 times 3. So the LCD is 2 times 3 squared. So that's 2 times 9. So the LCD is 18. So you put an 18 here, and you multiply by 2 and 2. So that's negative 4 over 18 plus negative 2. And we want to make this an 18, so we multiply by 3 and 3. So it's negative 2. So 1 times 3 is 3. 3 times 6 is 18. So when we add these, this is a 0. So this is a negative 2. Common denominator is 18. And when we add, this is a negative. So that's negative 7. If you think of it as a 7. And that wouldn't be. So negative 2, and that's a negative. So altogether, that makes it, that's a, and I suppose that would be wrong to do that, because this is a negative and this is a negative. So this is negative 2 and 7 over 18. Probably another way to do this, rather than this, I don't think I'd go. We could go that way. But this is a negative and a negative, so you get the negative 7. No, I wouldn't. I would probably go this way. This is the better way to go. Let's go with my intuition. Make this 2 times 6 plus 1 is 13 over 6. Change your, because you have this negative, it makes it confusing. So make this and this mixed number an improper fraction. Now go with the common denominator, multiply by 2 and 2. So that's a negative 4 over 18. And multiply this one by 3 over 3. So that gives us a negative 39 over 18. Add, we get common denominator is 18, so that's a negative and a negative. You add up as a negative number, a negative 43. Now divide, and you get 18 into, this is 36, so that's a 2. 36, 7/18, and is negative. This looks funny to do it this way, so it looks, I would go change my mixed number to an improper fraction and then work on it with the common denominator. This is the better way, less confusing. And we have two fractions there, no mix, so there shouldn't be. 14 is 2 times 7. 21 is 3 times 7. So the LCD is 2 times 3 times 7. So the LCD is 6 7s is 42. So that means 14, you need a 3. So just look at these three numbers. You got 14 is 2 and 7, so you need a 3. You got 21, so you need a 2 to make it 42. So that's 42. 3 7s or 3 9s are 27. Add on. 21 times 2 is 42. And negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. Common denominator is 42. And you add these and you get 17. And this can't reduce because it's prime. Again, I would take the mixed number and change it to an improper fraction and then deal with adding the denominator, common denominator. Number 9, simplify each. So we have a double negative, So the first thing I do with a double negative, I make it positive. Now I have a 12 and a 10. So a 12 is 2 times 6, which is 2 times 3. A 10 is 2 times 5. So I have 2 2's, a 3, and a 5. So I have 2 squared times 3, and I have 2 times 5. So I have a 2, a 3, and a 5. But I have 2 2's. So 2 squared, this 2 here is taken care of by the 2 that's in here, this 4, and a 3 and a 5. So that's 8, 24. So that gives us 8 times 3. So, sorry, 8 times 8. 4 times 3 is 12. So that gives us 60. So the LCD is 60. So we multiply by, we got a 12. To get a 60, we need a 5 and a 5. To get a 60 here, we need a 6 and a 6. So that gives us negative 7 times 5 is a negative 35. 5 times 12 is 60. And we have 3 6's are 18, and we have a 60. 60 is the LCD, and we add here, and 35 take away 18 is 17, and it's negative. And again, 17 is prime, so we can't reduce it. So negative 17 over 60. And we got improper fractions. So the best way here is to change this. So common denominator here, not a common, denominator here is 2. So again, 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5, but it's negative. And so here, 1 times 5 is 5 plus 3 is 8 over 5. Again, you won't make a mistake here. You go 1 times 5 plus 3. But here you got to go 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5, and then make it negative. Beware. The 2 and 5 have nothing in common, so the LCD is 2 times 5, which is 10. So you multiply this one by 5 over 5. Multiply this one by 2 over 2. Negative 25 over 10 plus 16 over 10. The LCD is 10, and 25 is a positive and negative, so subtract. 25 subtract 16 is 9, and is negative. And we have more to do. Again, mixed numerals, so let's change them. So we got a common denominator of 8. So 3 8s are 24. Add on 3. 24 plus 3 is 27, but it's negative. Times 1 times 9 is 9. 9 and 7 is 16 over 9, but it's negative. So I changed my mixed numerals to improper fractions. Mixed numerals to improper fractions, done. Again, remind you, 3 8s are 24 plus 3 is 27, make it negative. 1 times 9 is 9 plus 7 is 16, and make it negative. Be careful. Now we're multiplying, so a negative times a negative is a positive, so there's a positive. They cancel. 8 goes into 8 once, 8 goes into 16 twice, 9 to 9 goes once, 9 to that goes 3. So that gives us 6 over 1, which is 6. And we have this one. Again, we change this one. So this is a common, I'm going to say common denominator. This is the denominator of 8. So 1 times 8 is 8 plus 1 is 9, and it's negative. Divided by 3/4. So this is a 9 over 8 times, when we're dividing, we multiply by the reciprocal, which is 4 over 3. And we have, it's a negative answer. Okay, 3 into 3 once, 3 into 9, 3. 4 into 4 once, 4 into 8, 2. So that's a negative 3 over 2. Or we can have 2 divided into 3 is 1. So we can have negative 3 over 2, or negative 1 1/2, or a negative 1.5 if you want a decimal. But most of the time you change this to mixed numeral. Now we got a PEMDAS here. We have to do the inside of the brackets first. So let's do this. Common denominator for 8 and 4 is 8. So we multiply this one by 2 over 2. So we have a 3 over 8. Subtract 6 over 8. That gives us negative 2 over 3 squared. And the common denominator is 8. So this is, we're subtracting. So 3 subtract 6 is negative 3. When we subtract, we add on the opposite if you want. So 3 plus negative 6 is a negative 3. Now, we got the inside done. So now we'll square. We're doing PEMDAS. P-E-M-D-A-S. We do the inside of the parentheses first, then we do the exponent. So negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. 3 times 3 is 9. And that's a multiplication of a negative 3 over 8. And we know we have positive times a negative is a negative. So 4 into 4 ones, 4 into 8, 2. 3 into that is 1. 3 into that is 3. So we can say 3 into negative 3 is a negative 1. So that's a negative 1 over 6. So the answer is negative. So if I'm canceling the 3, 3 into 9 is 3. 3 into negative 3 is negative 1. And then I won't write the error. And we have another one to do. And it's, again, PEMDAS. Again, I keep P-E-M-D-A-S. So we do inside the parentheses. So there's no parentheses. We have a parentheses, but the inside of this is already simplified. Now we do the exponent next. So negative 1/2 cubed. So negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1 is a negative 1. And 2 cubed is 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8. So I have my exponent done. So now I'm writing it all down, as you can see. So I did my exponent first. Now I do multiplication division from left to right. So this is a negative 1/8. And I'm multiplying here. So I have 5. 5 into 5 goes once. 5 into negative 5 goes negative 1. So this is, we're subtracting. So this is the negative of a negative 1 over 16. Plus, we're dividing, so it's a negative 6 multiplied by reciprocal, which is 3 over 2. So this is negative 1/8. Subtract negative 1 over 16. I got to finish this off because when you divide, you multiply. And this is negative 3. I almost made a mistake. That's a negative 3 over 2. And 3 goes into 3 once. 3 goes into 6 twice. So that's a negative 1 over 4. Now I have the, there's nothing inside the parentheses do. I have the exponent done. I have the multiplication division completed. And now I have to add and subtract. A double negative is a positive. Common denominator for 8, 16, and 4 is 16. 16 is the multiple of 8 and 4, so we multiply this one by 2 over 2. We multiply this one by 4 over 4. That gives us negative 2 over 16 plus 1 over 16 minus, plus a minus, and I get 4 over 16. 16 is the LCD. So I go negative 2, negative 4. Negative 2, negative 4 is negative 6 plus 1. So that's a negative 5. Again, emphasizing PEMDAS, the order of operations. So the order, again, to repeat, very extremely important. We do inside the parentheses first, then we do the exponents next, Then we do multiplication, division from left to right. And then last is the addition and or subtraction from left to right, whatever comes first. And that's a review of rational numbers. Hope help you out. Just always reviewing, always reviewing. And again, if you like my video, click on the like button, click on the subscribe button, visit my math website, or visit my website, www.mathfullyexplained.com, to find more information about me, my videos, and the content. That's the content on my YouTube channel called Math Fully Explained, just one word. Thank you for viewing my video. Hope the video helped you. Bye-bye.